Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be book club number 2. These are the books that I have read from August 19th until October 19th. 2 months. Well, first let me remind you how this goes. I'm going to tell you what books I've read, their overviews, and my opinions. I'm going to give a number scale 1 through 10, 1 being the worst book ever that I've read, to 10 being the best, and the official yay or nay, would I recommend you guys reading it. And of course, I tell you my favorites of the series that I've read or are reading so far. The books that I've read are Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, R.L. Stein's Fear Street First Date, R.L. Stein's Fear Street The Perfect Date, Mockingjay from the Hunger Games series, R.L. Stein's Ghost of Fear Street Nightmare in 3D, R.L. Stein's Ghost of Fear Street Stay Away from the Treehouse, R.L. Stein's Ghost of Fear Street, The Boy Who Ate Fear Street, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, Matched, Glass Houses by Rachel Kane, The Dead Girls Dance by Rachel Kane. Those are the Morganville Vampire series. And Day 21 by Cass Morgan, which is book 2 of the 100 series. Let me give you the overview of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. If you haven't watched my videos, you guys know that I'm a little sick right now. So if I sound not the greatest, it's because of that reason. I do read the overviews from different websites. Most of the time it's Barnes & Noble. If I don't like what they say, I go to a different one. But anyway, so here's the overview of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. The war against Voldemort is not going well. Even Muggle governments are noticing. Ron scans the obituary pages of the Daily Prophet, looking for familiar names. Dumbledore is absent from Hogwarts for long stretches of time, and the Order of the Phoenix has already suffered losses. And yet, as in all wars, life goes on. Sixth-year students learn to apparate and lose a few eyebrows in the process. The Weasley twins expand their business. Teenagers flirt and fight and fall in love. Classes are never straightforward, though Harry receives some extraordinary help from the mysterious Half-Blood Prince. Harry will search for the full and complex story of the boy who became Lord Voldemort, and thereby find what may be his own vulnerability. Half-Blood Prince is definitely a yay. If you watched my first club video, then you will know that I'm yay on the whole Harry Potter book series, and I give this a plus 10, meaning it's one of the best books that I've read. Almost all the Harry Potter books are. Now I'm going to tell you about R.L. Stein's Fear Street First Date. I got this directly from the back of the book. Chelsea is the typical shy girl, always home on a Saturday night. She would give anything to have her first date. Finally, Chelsea's luck begins to change when two new guys move into town and both ask her out. Too bad that one of Chelsea's new boys has a terrible hobby: murder. Now Chelsea may be looking for love, but he's looking for a new victim. Basically, just Chelsea girl is like any other teenager, but she's like a loner, and she just moved to Fear Street, and then she wants a boyfriend so bad, and two guys up asking her out, and you kind of have to figure out which one of them is the murderer. It is kind of predictable. I kind of knew who the murderer was from the first moment that I met both of the guys. So it is a little predictable, but I mean, it is a like middle school. It's a children's book. I would give it a +6 and a yay. That one's a yay. I thought it was good. It still had that thrill factor to it, which I love thrill factors. You guys know that. Next, I'm going to tell you about R.L. Stein's Fear Street, The Perfect Date. After his girlfriend's gruesome death 1 year ago, Brady is finally ready to get on with his life. He has met Rasha, and he has fallen hard. Terrible accidents seem to happen whenever Rasha is around, and a strange figure with a scarred face following Brady everywhere he goes. Is Rasha really Brady's dream girl, or has she brought his worst nightmare back to life? I feel like sometimes Brady is a jerk. His previous girlfriend had just died a year ago, and he was, little spoiler, he was there when it happened. So I feel like he shouldn't be over her. Like, I feel like he shouldn't be looking for a new girlfriend or anything. But I don't know. Maybe that's how teenagers think. I don't know. I'm not normal. I'm not a normal person. I never was a normal teenager. He meets Rasha. She is, you know, like his type. Pretty girl. He falls for her really hard, like the back of the book says. To the point where he's like ignoring his friends. Basically wants to be with her like 24/7. For The Perfect Day, I would give that a +6. And it is a yay. It is a little predictable, but the ending has this weird twist. I was like, huh, didn't know you were going that way. If you like the Fear Street books, definitely give it a read. I'm going to give the overview of R.L. Stein's Ghost of Fear Street, Stay Away from the Treehouse. Dylan and Steve find a cool treehouse, one that's supposed to be haunted. But are the creepy stories true? Dylan and Steve are about to find out. They're spending the night in their treehouse in the woods, just the two of them and one ghost. Gave Stay Away from the Treehouse a +5 and a yay. It was well written compared to Nightmare on 3D. It wasn't as I would liked it to been. Like, when I think of the Fear Street books, I think of more terrifying and gory and thrilling. The Ghost of Fear Street books that I read are more like goosebumpy. I would consider Goosebumps being like elementary, Fear Street being middle school. Well, I feel like the Ghost of Fear Street is elementary. But I did enjoy the Stay Away from the Treehouse one. It was predictable, but there was still a little bit of the thrilling factor. And if I was a 10-year-old boy, or a 10-year-old in general, I think that would have made it up to one of my favorites. So, yes, I did enjoy it, and yes, I do recommend it. If you read stories to your children, I do recommend that book. I'm going to tell you the overview of R.L. Stein's Ghost of Fear Street, The Boy Who Ate Fear Street. Sam Kinney used to be a very picky eater, but after a friend's eccentric aunt Sylvie put a weird spice in his mac and cheese, Suddenly, Sam can't stop eating. Paste and pepper, dishwashing soap, even dog food. Sam has to find out what is making him eat and eat and eat before he eats his house and all his friends on Fear Street. So, I think the overview is a little dramatic compared to the actual book. It really grossed me out. It didn't have a thrill factor, not really. I finally got done with it. I had to set it down a few times. I had to do that with The Nightmare in 3D too, because I was like, this book, I just can't. But give that a +2. I don't recommend reading it. It just wasn't as good as I hoped. I'm gonna tell you the overview of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the Lightning Thief. Mythological monsters and the gods of Mount Olympus seem to be walking out of the pages of 12-year-old Percy Jackson's textbooks and into his life. And worse, he has angered a few of them. Zeus's master lightning bolt has been stolen, and Percy is the prime suspect. Now he and his friends have just 10 days to find and return Zeus's stolen property and bring peace to a warring Mount Olympus. I thought the book was good. It had a lot more challenges than the movie, and the movie changed it quite a bit, which I am really disappointed. And they casted the characters to be like 16 or something. Percy is 12 in this book. That kind of caught me off guard. But I enjoyed the book. It was a +8. Yay, of course. I do recommend reading, especially if you are male. I feel like it's more of a guy's book. The challenges were more challenging in the book, I feel like. So I liked that. There was just some things like the blue food and stuff that I liked. The only thing I really didn't care for in the book was they had to figure out who Percy's dad was. First of all, his name was Percy. Poseidon's son is Perseus. If that wasn't obvious, though every time he's around water, he's amazing or whatever. How did it take him so long to realize? But other than that, I liked the book. +8 and yay. The next book I'm going to overview is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. It all comes down to this, a final face-off between good and evil. You plan to pull out all the stops, but every time you solve one mystery, 3 more evolve. Do you stay the course you started despite the lack of progress? Do you detour and follow a new lead that may not help? Do you listen to your instincts or your friends? Lord Voldemort is preparing for battle, and so must Harry. With Ron and Hermione at his side, he's trying to hunt down Voldemort's Horcruxes, escape danger at every turn, and find a way to defeat evil once and for all. How does it all end? Find out in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. +10 and yay. Of course, I recommend the whole Harry Potter series. My favorite is either Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban or Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I'm not really sure which one I like more, but those two are my favorite. My least favorite is Order of the Phoenix. Next, I'm gonna review Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. It was always difficult being Harry Potter, and it isn't much easier now that he is an overworked employee of the Ministry of Magic, a husband and a father of 3 school-age children. Grapples with a past that refuses to stay where it belongs. His youngest son, Albus, must struggle with the weight of a family legacy he never wanted. As past and present fuse ominously, both father and son learn the uncomfortable truth. Sometimes darkness comes from the unexpected places. I do not count this as the 8th story. It is not as good as I hoped. Very predictable. I didn't like how Ron was perceived at all, but I did like that how loving him and Hermione's relationship were. It seemed like all the characters were too flirty. It was just a lot of things wrong with the play that I did not agree with. I did like Albus's character, and I did like Scorpius's characters. I liked the reason Albus was rebelling against Harry. I liked the adventure parts. I did like the adventure parts. But it just wasn't believable enough. I gave it a +5, and I gave it a yay. It is a good book. I did enjoy parts of it, but it was like more of fan fiction. So if you like reading fan fiction, then you'll love it. I'm not one who sits and read fan fiction. Yeah, it was alright, but if you needed that, you needed that. You just needed another little piece of Harry Potter. Then read Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Now I'm going to read the overview of Matched. Cassia has always trusted the society to make the right choices for her. What to read, what to watch, what to believe. So when Xander's face appears on screen at her matching ceremony, Cassia knows he is her ideal match until she sees Kai Markham's face flash for an instant before the screen fades to black. The society tells her it's a glitch, a rare malfunction, and that she should focus on the happy life she's destined to lead with Xander. But Cassia can't stop thinking about Kai, and as they slowly fall in love, Cassia begins to doubt the society's infallibility and is faced with impossible choice between Xander and Kai, between the only life she's known and a path that no one else has dared to follow. There was parts of this book that I didn't really care for. I think it was a little bit too poetic for me. But other than that, it was a really good book. Like, it was the idea of the society and the dystopia that Condi created was wonderful. I did give it a 7.5. I did think that Cassia and Xander, they kind of belonged together more than her and Kai. But as it went along, I was rooting for Kai. I really liked her rebellious. Enjoyed the book. Definitely give it a read. I'm going to read the overview of Glass Houses by Rachel Kane. Glass Houses is the first of the Morganville vampire series. I'm loving the series so far. College freshman Claire Danvers has had enough of her nightmarish dorm situation where the popular girls never let her forget just where she ranks in the school's social scene, somewhere less than 0. When Claire heads off campus, the imposing old house where she finds a room may not be much better. Her new roommates don't show any signs of life, but they'll have Claire's back when the town's deepest secrets come crawling out, hungry for fresh blood. The overview doesn't really tell you much about the book, so I'm going to tell you a little bit. Claire is 16. She's like one of those overachieving study nerds. She is getting more than bullied by the popular girls. She has had enough, and she sees an ad for this house that wants a roommate, and she calls it, and no one answers. So she goes to the house. One of the house members sees her crying on the steps and Eventually, she becomes their roommate, even though they're like iffy about it because there's 2 guys in the house and it doesn't look good. She is legally supposed to stay in the dorm. Eve and Shane and Michael are her roommates. She finds out that there are vampires in the town. This +8 and a yay. I am loving the series right now. It's become one of my favorite series. I'm gonna give an overview of the second of the Morganville vampire books. It's called The Dead Girls Dance. They're by Rachel Kane. Claire has her share of challenges, like being a genius in a school that favors beauty over brains, homicidal girls in her dorm, and finding out that her college town is overrun with the living dead. On the upside, she has a new boyfriend with a vampire hunting dad, but when a local fraternity throws the Dead Girls Dance, hell is really going to break loose. Some really bad things happen, but basically a war breaks out between the vampires and the humans. It's not like Twilight War like where they literally are on battleground. It's more like challenges. I gave that a +8 also, and a yay. Definitely read it, like I said. It's becoming my favorite series. So the overview of Day 21 by Cass Morgan. It is the second book of the 100 series. It's been 21 days since the 100 landed on Earth. They're the only humans to step foot on the planet in centuries. Or so they thought. Facing an unknown enemy, Wells attempts to keep the group safe after a tragic accident. Clark strikes out in search of other colonists, while Bellamy is determined to rescue his sister no matter the cost. And back on the ship, Glass faces an unthinkable choice between the love of her life and life itself. In this pulse-pounding sequel, secrets are revealed, beliefs are changed, and relationships are tested. This book was okay. It was better than the first book, though. To be honest, I feel like you do not have to read the books. Just watch the TV show. It's way better. Not a lot of times that happens, but the 100 and Orange is the New Black, you can skip the books, watch the show, and enjoy the show. To be quite clear, the books and the TV show are so different that they could have different names. Honestly, like, it was just a number 5 to me, and I put nay. You don't need to read the books. You can skip them. Skip them. You'll get so much more enjoyment from the TV show. I promise. I'm only gonna read the 3rd book because I read the other 2. That is book club. I hope that you liked this book club. If you did, please subscribe for more book clubs. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me some comments. Leave me what you're reading. Tell me what you think of the books. Bye.